Hey, hey, happy getaway day. Happy getaway day. I am ready. So my flight in 12 hours, I'll be somewhere over a flyover state. I think my flight's at 5:48 today. So no hobby evolution tomorrow morning. Be sleeping in. I won't really have anything to talk about other than traveling. So I will go live. I'll try to go live on Thursday morning, because then I'll have a full day of spring training under my belt Wednesday. So Wednesday, my plan is backfields to watch minor league practice and then hit the Club 400 tailgate tent around noon and then head into the game. It's Cubs play Team Canada from the World Baseball Classic. So Team Canada versus the Cubs on Wednesday afternoon. Gonna do the berm, the lawn seats, my buddy Crawley, and then maybe a drink or two afterwards, and then retire to the hotel and do it all again Thursday. Cubs play on Thursday also. Gonna do the lawn on Thursday. Friday it's the Cubs and White Sox, and we're doing a rooftop at Sloan Park. It's a rooftop within Sloan Park. It's not like a separate rooftop like it is at Wrigley. So it's within Sloan Park. I ran out of coffee this morning. I feel a little naked without my coffee. I ran out yesterday and I'm like, I only have, I'm very stubborn. I could have went and bought coffee yesterday. It's like, I'm going to Arizona. I'll buy it when I get back. It's stubbornness. It's procrastination. I'm like, I don't need coffee. I can go a day without coffee. To hell I can. So I actually thought, because I was up early this morning, I couldn't sleep. I'm too excited. I'm like, I'll just run down to Quick Trip. And then it's like, there's probably a lot of like people on their way to work. It's going to be busy. I just don't want to deal with people without coffee at 6 a.m. Just not my thing. Like, well, I've got time to go down to Dunkin'. Nah, I don't want to leave the house. I'll just drink a bottle of water. So I'll probably need a caffeine fix at like 10. I'll drink a Diet Coke or something. So I don't have any coffee this morning. And now it's like, that was why did I do that? Bo, you know you need coffee in the morning, you big idiot. God dang it. So heading out, I got my my rec room cleaned up. I didn't want to leave a mess. When I was younger, I didn't give a crap. I didn't care if I left the house. Now it's like I have to have my spaces cleaned. Like I filled this week, or last week, I guess. I filled 2 garbage bags with these. 2 garbage bags filled with these. And what else? That's about it. A couple envelope boxes. 2 garbage bags in a week of that stuff. And I'm actually from just random other stuff, I've got a 3rd garbage bag filled up in the rec room. So I got the rec room cleaned up. Nuke, I don't know if Nuke's in here. He might be listening later, but I finally have your flat rate box. I got the long box where I can fit 3 550 count boxes, and I thought I could fit a 4th. So I'm going to try to get some extra cards in there. So Nuke, I traded, I'm trading him a flat rate box of quarter stuff he traded me the Sega Genesis with the NBA Jam, which I've only played. I've had it 3 weeks now, and I've played it like 3 times. And it was when I was feeling like shit with COVID. Because after that, I just haven't had any time. It's like, I don't even have time to like breathe. Speaking of that, we met our AV guy, who's just our buddy that lives around this corner. But he's like actually a professional. He has his own company. He does a lot of like high level audio, video cables and stuff like that. So he's gonna help us hook up our house, and he like his he's kind of like an IT. You know, when you have a problem, when it's beyond just Control Alt Delete and restart. You talk to the IT guy, and the IT guy's like, "Did you restart your computer?" Like every IT guy I ever worked with when I worked in offices with IT people, and I had an issue, and I'm like, "Yeah, so this is happening. My computer won't work," and it's usually like, "Did you restart your computer?" Yes, and it's turned on also. Oh, and by the way, it's also plugged in. Okay, now what the hell's going on? Fix my damn computer. But then once they're like and once they realize you're not just a moron who didn't plug in the computer, not saying that's not happened to me. Once it gets past that point, then the IT guy goes into, I mean, they don't have middle ground. IT guys don't have middle ground. And I say this lovingly because I'm sure there's some IT guys and ladies watching, listening to this video. But most IT people that I've dealt with, they go from like, did you plug it in? Did you restart? They go from that. And then once they realize it's beyond that type of an issue, then they start like speaking Chinese. And it's like, what? By the way, I don't speak Chinese, so it's Chinese to me. I'm like my buddy Jeremy, we're going through the basement. He's like, da, 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 da. I'm like, I don't know. I don't understand. Like, just this is what we do. By the way, super proud moment. We're in the basement, and Jeremy asked something about TV connectivity or something. I don't know. Again, most of it went over my head. And my wife's like, we watch a lot of TV. We're couch people. My wife finally has admitted it. It's taken several months, but my wife uttered those beautiful words, we are couch people. So I was very happy, very proud that she has come to realize we are, in fact, couch people. So Jeremy's just speaking way over my head. I'm like, dude, like, I do a YouTube video every morning. It's nice when the stream works. We had some issues the first 490 episodes. We watch TV. We stream. We don't game unless you count my 6 games of NBA Jam that I've played on Sega Genesis. And if that doesn't work, I really honestly don't give a shit. He has an arcade in his basement, so I'll come over and play NBA Jam at your house. Like, that's the other stuff. Like, you're asking me questions. I don't know. I don't know. So we got that going on. We get home and I'm like, oh my God, I'm just like, it's been the new house has been framed. And guess what? Some of it's becoming unframed to be reframed. My mother-in-law's in town. No, she lives here, but she's back. It would have been nice if she was here a month ago and identified, because she's right. But it's like, why weren't you here a month ago before it was framed to realize this looks dumb or this can work? So we are getting a workout room. We had our powder room. Did I share my powder room story? I don't know if I did. I may have shared it in a group chat that I'm in. So we were at after my mother-in-law recognized the powder room, initially the door goes straight into the kitchen. Apparently you don't want that. And I'm like, I guess that makes sense. So we met with our contractor to talk to him. Like, okay, we want to move the door from this side to this side, and it's creating stress. And I don't have any involvement other than like, yeah, that makes sense. I'm just a yes man. So we're talking to the contractors, and I'm like, we don't want the door there because, you don't want to take a dump and walk into the kitchen. And my wife snapped back. You don't take dumps in the powder room. That should be a shirt. You don't take dumps in the powder room. Okay. Maybe you don't. But I've taken dumps in the powder room. So we don't take dumps in the powder room. We're getting a workout room. So we found a way to make that work. Mother-in-law was there yesterday, and she's like, now we're going to this effing door in the basement is now being moved for a third time. It's been framed 3 different effing times. Well, 2, about to be a third. So initially it was on, you come down into the basement, and on the far wall, there's a door that goes into what's going to be like the card. Basically, it's going to look like this. It's the card backstock. And I'm like, you know what? There's no other access point. I have an access point from the garage into that room and from my eBay store into that room, which are all on that side. Let's have an access point over here. Oh, that's perfect. Yeah. So we moved the door to the other side. Now where the door is, that's going to be part of the workout room. So my mother-in-law is like, so we'll move the door back over here. I'm like, no, I don't want the door there. This is our house. So I had to explain. And so fortunately the contractor was there. He's like, yeah, we can put the door here. I'm like, it's a little further into the room, but hopefully it works. My mother-in-law is usually right. That's my fear. We'll see. We will see. So that was the adventures of the new house. I haven't provided any video updates because, well, it's probably going to look different. Maybe I'll have to do it when I get back next week. Here, it's completely changed. Although I don't think the basement bathroom, I don't think that was framed out when I did my last video. That's now framed out. Kind of looks cool because they like into the concrete to get to the pipes. So there's like chunks of concrete everywhere. So that was the excitement from yesterday. Let's see. We're about 20 minutes behind, 13 minutes behind in the chat. Let's see what's going on in the chat. Augusta Lawn Care is in the house, and he's the first one here. What's happening? Jenny wants to know what breaker incident. So that's what we're going to talk about today. Drop the pitchforks. Here's the good thing. The bad thing is the Twitter pitchforks were out in full force. The good thing is, like, I was falling asleep to this drama. I mean, I was just reading along. But when I woke up this morning, all had been resolved. How about that? People being adults. It was very nice to see. Of course, people that weren't the 3 people that were involved were the most adult about it. Everybody else who had zero relationship with the actual transaction, they're the ones wanting to, scream scammer at the breaker, at a person who got the wrong cards. And it was a simple mistake. So I'm going to talk about that. So that's what happened. Blink and you missed it with this case because it was I think it was starting to brew at about 9 or 10 p.m. last night. And I woke up at 6 a.m. and it was already solved. So we like to see that. So I'm going to talk about that. Drop the pitchforks, people. Victor's in the house. What's happening? Augusta says, not sure backyard breaks are the only one. I've heard multiple complaints like that about, but there's complaints. Everybody's got a complaint on a breaker. Let's see. There was a breaker that was upset. People were not giving him credit for a big pull. And then there was a guy that was upset the breaker he used didn't send his 2 autos he hit. And I think that probably is what we're going to talk about today. I see too much on social media because everyone tags card purchaser in every little thing. That's true. Dan is in the house. What's up? Thank you very much. Oh, speaking of the trip, so I do my 24-hour check-in, and I think I was an hour late or 90 minutes late. I didn't get a good seat. I did get exit row. I got a window seat, so I'm not in the middle. That's good. But I love aisle seats because if I want to get up and go to the bathroom, I don't like, excuse me, I gotta go pee. Like, I just effing hate that. Oh, I hate being stuck. So I'm not on the aisle. Actually, I might check just to see if there's been any, like, can I up? Is there an aisle open that I can? I'll pay extra money to get an aisle seat. This is, I don't know if John Keating is in the chat, but John's like laughing because he's a frequent flyer. This is the peons that only fly once a year. This is the stuff that we have to deal with. Not getting an aisle seat. So that's, I think, let's see. I don't think I have any other flights planned this year. Well, I have tentatively planned on going to the Dallas Card Show in November. Tentatively. I've looked at the good thing is it's a Marriott property, so I can rack up more points where the show's at. And I looked at flights actually are we have direct flights to Dallas, not that bad. So we shall see. I hate planning. We talked about that yesterday. I hate planning. And it's March. I haven't even bought my VIP. Now it's like with the VIP, like with the National, I haven't bought my VIP ticket because I wanted the Super VIP and they freaking sold out in like January. Like usually I buy my National ticket in June, Super VIP. And they're freaking sold out already. It's like, okay, well, VIPs won't sell out until June. Hope. Well, here we go. So it's like, screw it. I'll just not give them my money so early. Let's see. Todd says, good morning, all. Safe travels. Thank you. Have a great time. I think I can accomplish that. Boston Smoke in the house. What's happening? Good morning, Steve. A day without coffee is also known as the Walking Dead. I am starting to feel it. I just drank a bottle of water and it's like, that had no caffeine in it. What the hell's going on? I'm like, I feel like I'm in the water. Like I feel so out of sorts. My routine is off. Because usually I come downstairs and I get the coffee started. I come down here, do a few shipments, and then at like 6:56, I walk upstairs, get my coffee, come back down, boom, hit go live. Didn't do that this morning. It's like it's 6:55. I got to go get, I don't have any effing coffee. We'll see how. I wonder if no coffee Bo will get really pissed off and just go on this soapbox rant today. Is that what no coffee is going to do? Am I going to just bitch all morning? We'll see. My wife's like, did you drink coffee? You need to go get some coffee. My wife doesn't sound like that, by the way. And if she heard me say that, she'd probably murder me. Kyle, good morning. Happy travels. Thank you. Last year at spring training, I was delayed at least 2 hours because the frickin' toilet wouldn't flush on the airplane. I would say I don't give a shit about, no pun intended. But then like when you're mid-flight and somebody's actually taking a shit on the airplane, and it doesn't flush, and then you're like, oh yeah, we need that flusher. So I guess it was worth the wait. Inevitably, somebody's going to dump on the plane. I'd prefer you not to dump in the plane. Although I think I'm far enough. I'm like, what, exit row's like right in the middle. I don't like the responsibility that comes with the exit row, but I like the extra. It's a trade-off. It's like I have this responsibility. I have the responsibility of this entire airplane in the exit row. I don't like that, but I like the extra 6 inches of leg room. I can't believe the exit row was still available. Maybe other people think like me. They don't want to listen to the flight because the flight attendants like actually come to you. You have this responsibility. Are you willing to accept your responsibility sitting in the exit row? Yeah, I got 6 more inches of leg space. You betcha I am. Hopefully I don't have to use it because I didn't listen. Steve Ains Comedy says hit that like button. Thank you, Steve. Herman in the house. What's happening? Red Light 34 is here. Good morning. We've got the Hall of Fame card collector. Good morning. Watching at the gym on spring break. Paige and Deanie Bean. Good morning from Bean and Andrew. What's up, Bean? What did you do with Dean? Or are you with Ken? Thanks for reminding me my coffee was empty. Yeah, I had let's see. I ran out of my Trader Joe's and I'm like, oh, I've got that big old thing of Dunkin' from Costco. And there was just like one pot, like just to make one pot. Like I'm already starting to like get tired because I haven't had my coffee. I think I am gonna run to Quick Trip as soon as I get done, just because I need that morning boost. Otherwise, I'm just gonna be like all foggy this morning, and I might make mistakes like the breaker did last or whenever he did. And people grab their pitchforks on Twitter. You roll your eyes, but they probably have someone every 2 weeks that didn't realize the plug came out or the button on the plug box got turned off. I know. They probably roll their eyes for a reason. There's precedent that has been set. Cooter, good morning to you. Glad to see everything looks normal in the stream as the air raid sirens have been going off here in OKC. That is not good. Not good at all. I think our weather today is, I don't think we'll have any issues with my flight. Looks like we're going to be at a high of 42 or 43 today. Not bad. And I think that's probably going to be the temperature when I land. So I'm going to fly out at 43 degrees in Wisconsin. And then when I land tonight in Mesa, it's going to be, where's the, oh, hey, not bad at all. Is that correct? 62? 9 p.m., 62 degrees. Hey, I'll take it. Not too shabby. Thought it was going to be in the 40s. So starting to warm up. Bad storms for Cooter. No storms and not the tornado sirens. The up and down air raid. I don't know what that is. Where are we at? I need freaking coffee, man. Ed, what's happening? Good morning. Chinese attack balloons must be nearby. Zach and Porter in the house. I'm glad you were getting a room for exercise. We all need balance, and maybe I'll use it. We are putting a TV in there, so that'll at least give me more. It's like, but I can't watch TV. Kyle, what's happening? And I will say my back is like, I spend too much time sitting at a computer, and like when I get up, like I need to do, and I know it's winter and I'm not as active. I have a treadmill. It's folded up in the other room. Let's see. Today on Hobby Evolution, I learned where to take a dump, not in the powder room. Workout room. Who went in the over-under pool for how long, Bo, before Bo is stacking card boxes on the treadmill? You know what? I'll have more space in the new house. But I've never used the treadmill to stack things. I don't think, and we ended up folding it up. Oh, see, I need my coffee. I'm yawning. I'm boring myself. Hobby Evolution. I'm boring myself. When we had the treadmill set up for a long time, and I don't think we ever used it to like hang stuff on. We never used it. We rarely used it. But it was never like a storage spot. Let's see. Eric in the house. What's up, Eric? Christian, good morning. I got the rest of my custom Lions team set that I made with the Rookies app. Best Lion set produced since 1991 tops, and not just because I made it. Very cool. Very nice. I made a lot of custom cards for spring training, like 400. And I've already got another batch with some of my buddy Rich's photos, and then I've got my by the way, Brian Dean, I don't know if he's here, but my treadmill, my tripod came in the mail last week. So I was playing around with that. The remote, that's pretty cool. It comes with a remote. Click. Oh, hey, it's hooked up. Bluetooth remote to my phone. So I'm looking forward to using that tomorrow with my telescopic lens for the iPhone. And then I can make some cool custom cards with my own photos. Bo's tool sound description. Eric says, Cooter, I want in. Would you invest in Luka rookies as a dealer? No. And here's why. I don't invest in cards, and I'm not saying there's anything wrong with that, but I just don't invest in cards. But I'm also not one of those people that's like, you can't invest in cards because it's blah, 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 blah. You can. And I think there are wise investments within cards. But me personally, and I'm just going to give you my personal opinion, I would not invest in any cards. And I don't do basketball at all. So I don't even like buying. I'm in for the quick flip. My business is Jackson Holiday, first Bowman paper. How many days has it been? 9 days since I bought at the Janesville Card Show. And I posted, and it was tongue-in-cheek on Twitter because I knew the answer. Yes was the answer. Would you pay $5 for 30 Jackson Holiday first Bowmans? And you have, well, it's Bowman paper. It's not worth it. It's Bowman paper. Well, what if in 2 years? No, this isn't about in 2 years. This isn't an investment. This is in for the quick flip. Guess what? They sell for $4 or $5 a pop, and I bought 30 of them for $5. That was a good purchase. It was a good flip. Guess what? I listed them less than a week ago. I think it's been the 30th card sold last night. In less than a week, I sold all 30 Jackson Holiday first Bowman papers between $3.75 and $5. I need to go through and look because that was so the $3.75 was because somebody bought 10 of them. And so they get a 25% discount. So that makes it $3.75. And then so that's a third, 10. I'm good at math. 10 is a third of 30. And then I would say a third sold for $3.75 because of the one transaction. A third sold for $4 on best offers, and a third sold for $5 at full price. So what's the math on that? $37.50. I'm good at math. 10 times 375. So that's $37.50 plus 40 on the $4 ones and plus 50. $127.50 gross. So let's just say there was, well, we know one transaction. So times, let's do the math here. We're just going to do the math. The math, not the meth. We're not going to do meth. So 127.50s are gross. And so the final value fee is 12%. So that's $15.30 in eBay fees. Plus we got transaction fees. So we know one of them was 10. I know there were a few like multiple. So let's say there's 20 transactions. That makes sense. Yeah. 20 times 30 cents is $6. Okay. So say there's 20 transactions. And I think let's see. What did we say? 20 transactions? So let's say 15 of them were standard envelope. So 15 times 60 cents is $9. And then 5 were, let's just say $4 because they went bubble mailers. That's 20. So Bo does math. Riveting content on Hobby Evolution this morning. -6, -9, -20, $77.20. Okay, let's say 30 times 10 on the supplies, 10 cents. So there's $74.20. Minus my buy-in was like, let's say it was $520. $74.20 minus $520, $69, a nice net profit. In less than a week, it took no time at all. $69 profit in like 6 days. So the answer to the question, actually, I think my question was, would you? So maybe I phrased the question wrong because maybe you wouldn't want to do that, but I did. Okay, MD Sports Card says, welcome to modern America. Everyone cares more about everyone else's business than their own. And I think we've always been that way. Humans have always been that way. It's just more, we notice it more because of social media. I think the last generation noticed it more with the internet because we had email. We could gossip through email and AOL chat. And that was 25 years ago. And then before that, you had cable TV. And we had a 24-hour news cycle. And before that, the invention of television. And before that, radio. And before that, newspapers. So I think it's just a different medium. And I think the human behavior hasn't changed. It's just the tools that allow us to gossip and get into everyone else's business have improved for better or worse. Derek Carr officially signs with the Saints. So we've got some NFL movement. Let's see. Rich says, I don't do breaks, so I have no problems with breakers. By the way, we are only at 30% of us hitting the like button. Thank you, Rich. Okay, we're past 33%. That is slightly better. Hit the like button. Augusta says, I've never done one, but we'll probably do a cheap one just to try it. Won't waste money on expensive stuff with a small chance of pulling something big. I love breaks, the idea of breaks, because I'm a team collector, hoarder of Chicago Cubs baseball cards. So I bought into 3 breaks of Elite Extra Edition, and I'm going to use this I'm going to use one of those breaks as kind of an example of this whole drama that happened last night regarding a break. Not my break though. Because it's great because I did buy a hobby box of Elite Extra Edition at the last Madison Card Show, and I'm going to bust it in Arizona this week. But normally I wouldn't buy hobby boxes, and you don't get too many cards. I can spend. And here's why breaks are great, especially for team collectors. So a hobby box of Elite Extra Edition is $100, okay? I'm not going to buy a $100 hobby box of Elite Extra Edition. And yeah, you get like 8 autographs, 25 cards total. So what's that? What is that? $4 a card? A lot of those are going to be 15 of those are going to be base, $1.50 free shipping cards, basically a quarter. So anyway, no more math. We won't do any more math. We won't do any more problem solving today. So a hobby box is $100. I bought into the breaks. I was in 3 half case 10-box breaks. That's $1,000. That's easy math. $1,000 in hobby boxes to get the 10 or 15 cards that I want, Cubs cards, and I paid between $16 and $34. That's way less than just a hobby box. I mean, a hobby box is going to run you $100. So a half case is 20-box cases, 10 boxes, and I pulled some heat, pulled some good stuff. Actually, I think my most expensive break, and I have no idea about my third break. My first break was the most expensive because it came release week. It was like $35. And like, it was worth it. Like, I was happy because I got the cards I wanted. My second break, which I showed off, was frickin' fire. And I paid like $16. And I pulled a 1 of 1, whatever they call a superfractor in Panini. So I was very happy. And then the third break I bought into was on Sunday. I think I paid $23, and I have no idea what I pulled. I probably won't find out until I return from spring training. Let's see. Where are we at? Jenny says, well, let's just hope the powder room is working on the plane. I know. Rich says, dude, if you plan, you could have had an aisle seat without issues. No, for some reason, I wasn't able to pick my seat when I booked my flight. Because when I did book my flight, I had an aisle seat. Where do you want to sit? And that's why when I checked in last night, it's like, pick your seat. And it's like, I thought I already did that when I booked the damn flight. So when I went to check in, I don't know, maybe I fly once a year. So I have no idea how this works. But I had to pick my seat again. Zach says some people like to finish their meal before leaving a tip. Bo needs to earn likes just like the rest of us. Hey, there you go. It's a good point. Maybe they don't like the content. Maybe they don't like math. Did too much math. I haven't even had coffee and I've done too much math. Too much math for no coffee. Mark Marinello, what's up? I may be old school. I like to open my own packs. And I get that side of it. But for me, when I buy into breaks, and again, the only time I buy into breaks is when I'm when it's like not Topps, not Heritage, not Minors, when it's kind of a hit-based product, and I don't want to spend to get the cards I wanted, and I don't care about the other stuff. I would have had to spend $1,000 to get those cards I wanted. But buying into a break, I was able to get those cards at an average price of $25. Cards that I wanted. So that's why I like breaks. But like Topps, I wouldn't buy into a Topps break. I wouldn't buy it unless a friend is doing it and it's just kind of for fun. I wouldn't buy into Topps Heritage. Like it's only like I would only be interested. And I know some people do. Like I don't want to buy a hobby box of Topps. But I just want the Cubs cards or whatever team cards. So I get it. That's just not what I'm in it for. Let's see. Herman says, how about those that fly once in a lifetime? Made sure I had aisle seats for the flight to Madison. There you go. Thank you, Mark. Cooter says, save up money for an $80 Uber from the airport to DCS, opposite sides of DFW. Well, if it's an $80 Uber ride, I'll just rent a damn car. Do Turo, man. $40 a day. In my, I think it's a Hyundai Sinatra. No, he's a singer. Sonata. Hyundai Sinatra. That would be a fun car. That would be a lot of fun. I like Sinatra. Hopefully I'll like a Sonata too. But yeah, like some of my friends are going out to spring training this week as well. And I'm like, they're like, we don't have a car. We're just going to Uber. I'm like, look into Turo because you might actually spend less money renting a car than getting Uber rides all over the place. Now, the good thing about Phoenix is it's all pretty close together. Unless you're going out to Surprise. Jesus, that's way out there. I did that once and it's like, screw this. I'm not going back out there. Let's see. Rich says, but he brings us joyous entertainment each and every day. Well, almost. He could do it mucho cheaper. Flipping Sports Guy says, why are we dropping Pitchforks? They're fun to play with. No, they're not. Rich says, take the train from the airport to the Parker Road stop, and then it's a 10-minute Uber ride to the DCS. Oh my God. Planes, trains, and automobiles. See, I would rather spend a few extra bucks just to make it easier and either hop into an Uber. And here, I guess I'd have to look at Turo pricing because, it's probably like if I went to the Dallas Card Show, I wouldn't be like at spring training. I'm there for a week. So I'm driving to like Target to get baseball cards or hey, we're going out to dinner at this place. We're doing this. Like, I'm there for a week and I'm, going to be doing some driving. The Dallas Card Show, I'm probably not going to leave that hotel the entire weekend. So there's really no need for me to rent a car. So if it was, say if I had $80 in Uber charges, it might cost me, because I'm going to be, I would probably be there 3 days. So it's probably going to cost me, $120 for a car just to get there. So based on that, Uber actually might be cheaper. And then it's like, well, do I go to the Parker Road stop? I'm a stressful traveler. I'm a stressed out traveler. And I hate, because I'm always fearing that I'm going to miss the train. I'm going to miss I hate depending on Uber. I have poor luck with Uber. I don't know why, but I do not have good luck with Uber. I'm like batting 500 on Uber. Now most of it's in like Chicago and it's a whole nother ball game, but here in the sticks, in the country, in Madison, Uber's pretty easy to navigate. Not in Chicago. Mike, what's up? Good morning. I was out of coffee, just got back from Walmart with coffee, all good. Now I'm already battery low. I need a recharge. Coffee. Let's see. Zach says he does, so then exercise your personal right to hit the like button like it's an ad for DR's eBay store. There you go. That 70s Card Show. John is on flight 1881. I will be on flight. What the hell's my flight going to be? Mine's also an AA flight. Let's see. American Airlines. Oh, I don't know. See, the good thing is, if you don't know your flight, I'm in Madison. So it's like this is the good thing about flying out of Madison. I'm on the flight going to Phoenix. Well, there's only one of those. If you're flying out of O'Hare, it's like, I'm going to Phoenix, but shoot, which airline? Which airline? Which time? There's 74 flights to Phoenix today. Not in Madison. Oh, you're going to Phoenix? Oh, you just need to go walk 7 steps over there and boom. Do you really want a stopped up toilet? No, I do not. Augustus says, my poor puppo is getting old. He just went to turn around and his back legs gave out. Oh, I don't want to hear that. That's not good. Hopefully your pup's doing okay. Let's see. Rich says, sure enough, on cue, John Keating on a flight. His ears must have been burning. Dump in the powder room. Oh, I'm skipped too far ahead. Where am I at? Dump in the powder room, not on the plane. There you go. My wife would not approve, but I'll let the dump in the powder room slide. Make sure you swing the fanny back to forward facing before you sit down. Don't want you to rip the pop socket off your iPhone too. Good morning from Southwest Florida. What's up, Brian? You were not allowed to number 2 on the tour bus. Oh my gosh. I've got some stories on that. When you're working in the low majors of Division I college basketball and it's all bus trips, there's dumps on the bus when it's an 8-hour bus ride. There have been dumps on the bus, some better than others. Whew. Now, I never took a dump on a bus. And I tried not to even pee in a bus, because have you ever, the one time that I can remember peeing on a bus, in the bathroom, by the way, let me just make sure that's clear, was in Indianapolis. And I think it was like in the city. It wasn't like interstate. And I just remember trying to like hold, it was worse than being drunk and trying to pee. Like I'm holding the wall, but the room is moving. I guess if you got a really good drunk going on, it was kind of like that. And like just trying to jerk, and it depends on your driver too. If you got a jerky driver, oh my God, I just peed on my shoe. If your back hurts, then it's probably your core. It probably is. My core is fat. I'm supposing you aren't doing planks between shipping and listing. No, I should. Sometimes I stretch, but I should probably do that. Because my back is starting to get really sore. It's probably my core. When I threw my back out a few years ago, that the chiropractor gave me these like core exercises. And he was probably thinking, well, you're eating too much junk and drinking too much beer, and it's ruining your core. And your core being out of shape is ruining your back. So it probably is my core. Has this move made you reconsider what you buy? Actually, no, not really. It's kind of business as usual. I'm more motivated to sell bulk. I'm more motivated to it's like if I wasn't moving, I would be very, is it laissez-faire? What the hell does that mean? I would be very laid back about gathering these bulk lots. But now I don't want to pay for these junk cards to get moved, and I don't want to move them either. So I'm kind of putting pedal to the metal on selling. But on the buying side, not really. It's just business as usual. Nothing really changes on the buying front. Now, maybe I've passed on some bulk deals that otherwise I probably would have. I think that's because one of my dealers, Eric, I bought like 32 boxes. I think I still have like 2 or 3 to go through. And I bought them in like November. And he's got a bunch more. And it's like, probably if I was already moved in to the new house, the new space, I'd probably buy it and just have it on hand. But I don't want to move it. And I've got plenty. So I should probably actually use this mindset into the future. Like, no, you don't have to buy every bulk list that is pitched. I don't need every card that's pitched. Rich says, Bo, if you were that tired, split up Hobby Evolution into 2 parts, pre-coffee and post-coffee. Let's see. John says, when I guest host Hobby Evolution, I guarantee no yawning by the host. Zach says, John knows what the F he is talking about. Jenny says, over or under, Bo has 1,000 shipped now when he comes back from Arizona. God dang, I hope under. I mean, it'd be nice to have 1,000, but I'm going to try to prevent that from happening. So I'm down to this is like the lowest I've been since probably the Cubs convention. I've sold, I think, 2 or 3 more cards since I went live, but I am at a much manageable refresh. It's either 58 or 58. So I have 58 items to ship. But I also shipped all night last night. My issue is I'm spending a lot of time at the new house, and especially now that we're changing things. So it's really tearing into my day, especially as I'm getting and I'm focused on getting stuff ready for spring training, which has taken a lot of my time as well. So hopefully under. Cooter says, wow, I guess someone didn't grow up during the Cold War and does know the difference between the tornado or air raid alerts to know whether to duck and cover or go outside and look for the funnel. Baseball card curmudgeon, what's up? Invest in the enjoyment of cardboard. I like that. The Moment Paper crybabies were horrible on Twitter with that. But papers, it's going to be, and there was one guy and he ended up blocking me. And all I did was and if he would have just said, and I think the people he said, and he went detailed into it, and so I countered with my opinions, and then when I came back and showed him the proof, he said I had to be right. It's it wasn't about being right. You explained your thoughts, I explained mine, and let me show you the results. Where was it at? I don't tweet as much, so it's easier to go back and find things. Let's see. But here I am. Where in the hell was that tweet? And I guess I can tell you when. Oh, there's my Hot Pockets. Let's see. It's got to be coming up. Oh, there's the Good Company pizza. Did I go too far back? March, February. Here we go. February 26th. Would you pay $5 total for a lot of 30 First Bowman Jackson holiday ? I did. Since he blocked me, I probably can't see the tweet. Yep, I can't see the tweet. Well, bummer. So anyway. But yeah, it was well worth it. That was Dean typing. Bean this morning just dropped off Dean grabbing a 20-ounce coffee at Speedway. MD Sports Cards. Invest in cards shouldn't be in the same sentence unless you're sitting on retirement funds in the millions, and investing isn't selling a year later. I half agree, half disagree with that. That's a whole nother topic. TD Sports Cards, what's happening? Rich says investing in cards can be both short and long term. I agree with that. John says, Bo, check your Twitter DM real quick. Okay. John sent me a photo. Whoa, is John taking a dump in the bathroom? Hobby Evolution is airing from an airplane 30,000 feet in the air. That's awesome. Thank you, John. Let's see. This is a very long answer to, do you invest in cards? If only math worked the abs. I know, right? I know how to work out a math problem, but I don't know how to work out my core. Bo explaining how he invests equals Michael Scott going hunting. I'd share a link, but my wrench is gone like NBA Top Shot. Bo needs a Foreman grill next to his chair in the new office. Hey, that's a pretty good idea. Coffee maker and a George Foreman. I'll never leave the space. Augusta says, thing I don't like about breaks is most of them you don't get to pick your team. I stay away from those. I don't do randoms. The whole purpose of it is to get the team you want without having to pay for a box. Yeah, just go with PYTs. Pick your team. Those are the only breaks I get into. Snap and Collectibles, what's up? A lot of airlines have changed to where if you want to pick your seat upon booking, you have to pay extra. I think AA did me dirty. AA making me pay. Sonata. Hyundai. Why not rent a car to sit in the airport parking lot? You did last time, right? That was the train. That was the Amtrak or the Metra. Yeah, I had to buy a rental. I didn't have a choice on that one. It was either like a $400 Uber or a $200 rental car. So I went with the $200 rental car, and the rental car was. I'm sure it probably wouldn't be as easy. And by the way, Enterprise made it super easy to rent that car. Not an advertisement, but I was impressed by how easy that was. Hopefully Turo tonight will be just as smooth. My Hyundai Sinatra that I'll be driving. John says, LOL, I'll have a Hyundai Liza Minnelli. Rich says trains are great. I take trains into Chicago. That's like my mode of transportation into Chicago. I do like a train. Jenny says, if you only knew someone in the Dallas area that you could ask to come pick you up at the airport and bring you to the hotel and then back to the airport after the show, I'm sure I could probably find somebody to do that. Rich says, Bo, I say this seriously. If you are coming to a Dallas card show, make the hotel reservation the minute you know you are coming down. That was what I was going to ask you. When does the hotel sell out? Because you know how I am with planning in booking. Bo being a stressful traveler does not surprise me. Let's see, where are we at? It's because I never travel. Sit in the freaking basement all day. Let's see, where are we at? Rich says if he gets to the Dallas area, I know someone who will be his Sherpa for that show. I like it. Let's see. John says plenty of hotels around there. I stay at the Hilton Garden Inn across the street. Always has availability. Most hotels are booked more on weekdays than weekends, thanks to business. Oh yeah, Dallas and the business travelers, big down there. That is a very nice Hilton Garden Inn, and there will be the postcard show there this weekend. It's quieter, no snapping of pelican latches to interrupt my sleep pattern. Oh, that's a good point. I go to bed early. Kyle, what's up? Dumps on the bus. I didn't either. That was the worst. Kyle and I traveled. It was we played Ooey Pooey. And I had to take a piss on the bus. Actually, I don't think we were playing IUPUI. For some reason, we were in Indianapolis. But I wouldn't have peed on the bus because IUPUI, going to a game, would have been a 5-minute bus ride. It must have been maybe going to Fort Wayne or Oakland, the Oakland in Michigan. Because I remember specifically, I did. I almost successfully peed in a bus. I probably pissed on my shoe, but I remember vividly, it was like somewhere in downtown in Indianapolis. I don't know if it was downtown, but in Indianapolis. And I just remember doing that the whole time. Let's see. Much better than drop the Pitchforks. It's funny because that is the type of hotel I'm staying at for the National. HGI, that is, Hilton Garden Inn, where apparently much of Hobby Hotline is staying. The electric bike may have been a move towards laziness as well, wherever that thing is now. Well, it's in the garage because it's frickin' 30 degrees outside. I'm a fair weather biker, but I did ride it. I didn't do a big e-bike trip last summer. I think the longest one I did was, well, I think I put in a 40-mile trip. And that was just around Madison. I went down to the lake and then just kind of all over. Actually, I was going to go to like this. I was going to take the bike path to that like town of 20 people, which has a bar that's in the basement of a house, which is pretty cool. But the road was closed and I couldn't figure out how to get there. So I just turned around. And I'm like, screw it. I'm just going to ride some of the trails because I'd never done trails into Madison. I've always gone out of Madison into the country. And I ended up doing like 40 miles. And then I did a Mount Horeb. I think I did a Mount Horeb run, which is about 25 miles. But again, it's an electric bike, so it's not like I'm huffing and puffing. There is huffing and puffing. I mean, I'm still pedaling, but I'm not putting in as much work. Let's see. John just left the HGI at SeaWorld. It's a great brand. Laissez-faire literally means allowed to do. So I did not use it in the correct form. Kevin, good morning. I was bummed out a little bit yesterday. I've been averaging 5 to 10 sales a day. Went to bed with 1 sale, woke up to 7. Small numbers, but it's progress. I love waking up to like you. This morning, I probably wouldn't have loved it because it's like, oh my God, I'm going to be buried. That's my own doing. I could have put my store in sleep mode, but I didn't. Did he mean Renaissance Fair instead of laissez-faire? Let's see. Red Light 34 says, I just wish I had 20 to ship. You'll get there. I'm working on listing 70s tops today. I swing back and forth between listing eras. I think that's a good strategy. I try to get 100 a day. I started out listing 50 a day. Good morning, Paul. I think that's a great strategy in going. And that's why I like doing random. When I list, I like doing it randomly. Just taking a stack, especially, man, Junkwat, like 80s stuff is tab 13 AA. I know that because I've shipped so many cards out of this stack. So this was 100 cards. Rusty hasn't sold. Rusty Kuntz usually is a good seller. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. There are 19 cards left. So I've sold 81 cards. That was 100 cards in tab 13 AA. So 81 cards have sold, and I listed those. Trying to think, 2-3 weeks ago. And those are all like 80s stuff, like a lot of 80s stuff. Rookies and Bo Jackson, Barry Bonds, McGuire, those types of cards. Let's see. Kevin says, where's Kevin say? I just have my laptop and phone right now. I create my templates and drafts on the laptop and finish with photos on my phone. Rich says, yes, those names are Angela and Stefan. Is it Stefan or Stefan? For the ride to and from the airport. ComC Jeep service. Kevin says, do you ever use Airbnb? We discovered Airbnb a few years ago, and we haven't used a hotel since. I have not. And typically where I would want an Airbnb, it's more expensive than a hotel. And I also use Marriott. I have Marriott points, so I like staying in Marriott properties. Um, I don't think I've ever used an Airbnb. I'm trying to think. Like I've personally never booked. I was looking into had a weekend Cubs trip last summer. I looked into some Wrigleyville spots and ended up staying down in a hotel downtown. Um, so John says Airbnb isn't convenient in all locations and situations. I agree with that. In Mesa for spring training, it might be convenient, but it's not like it's just so easy for me. Plus, I can bank those Marriott points, but it's also location. Like, yeah, I'm paying kind of a premium on the hotel I'm staying at, but it's right next to the ballpark. If I stayed close to that area, I'm probably paying the same at Airbnb than I would be at the hotel. But you can get like a cheaper Airbnb, but you're going to be further out. So it's all. So I've never used it. It's something that maybe at some point. I'm not totally dismissing it, but in the situations that I've been, it's just easy. Hotel's easier. Let's see. Rich says, I may have to leave suddenly. We are having new windows put into the house. Don't know how long when they come into this room. Just make sure you hit the like button before you leave, Rich. Flipping Sports Guy says, had a big day yesterday, about 25 cards to ship out. That's awesome. So the Pitchforks were out last night. Here we are in hour one. We're getting to the topic. So this happens on Twitter where we see something and it's like, we are outraged. This is wrong. But we don't know the whole story. So in this particular instance, the people directly involved were the most adult and professional, but everybody else had their pitchforks out that had nothing to do with the situation. So last night, what time did he tweet this out? I guess it was around 5 p.m. So I guess it was going on longer than I thought. So anyway, DJ Schmale, hashtag Sam Sells, that's his Twitter. He was in a Bowman U break on Whatnot. And I'll save my opinions on Whatnot. He says, and he was very, very nice in his tweet. I hate complaining, but I was in a case break, got Penn State my PC, hit a red of 5 auto of Joey Porter Jr. and a Singleton refractor auto and a bunch more. I received 6 base cards and 1 insert. When I asked, they said, sorry, I'll give you a box. WTF, where are my cards? So sure, on the surface, we just blindly think, we just blindly believe it's a true story, which it ended up turning out to be a true story. But we also blindly think that somebody scammed him, somebody wronged him, and we collectively as people want to make it right. So that's what happened. So that's the gist of the background. So he replied because a lot of people had questions. So Sam Sell says, just to answer a few questions, I have reached out to Whatnot. First thing this morning, I reached out to the seller and waited over the weekend to get a response, which I understand people are busy. So this dude's being like, so this is like when I'm like kind of feeling out is like if I have an eBay buyer that's like claiming something, I'm feeling out how's the communication going. And like this doesn't sound fishy from the buyer standpoint whatsoever. Like he's being super, super understanding and nice about it. So he got another update. I cannot believe how this took off. I am not accusing anyone of anything. I hope this was an error. My DMs are open. And he tags in the breaker and the card surfaced, by the way. He also posted some screenshots. So it took a turn. So it was, and this is what's cool about a low serial number card. It's easy to track. So somebody on Twitter posted, look at my hit. It's a Joey Porter, numbered 1 out of 5 auto from Bowman U. The same exact card that this guy claims he won in a Whatnot break. So this person was 5 Lights, Patrick. So Patrick, 3 days ago, tweeted, "Nice Joey Porter, 1 of 5 auto. Really enjoying the Bowman U football." Now, does that sound like somebody that received a card that shouldn't, or he received it in like a devious, unscrupulous manner? I don't think so. Let's see. So then the Pitchforks came out and they're calling him a thief and a stealer and all that stuff. So Patrick tweets after this shitstorm. Patrick 5 Lights on Twitter says, "Just came down to the same team, different breaks. I had not seen the whole break and was pleasantly surprised. Saw my Twitter notifications, immediately contacted the other half. No forethought or malicious intent, a logistical issue." So 5 Lights, Patrick on Twitter, he also had Penn State in a whatnot break. So people are like, "Oh yeah, right. You knew you didn't get that in a break." Guess what? I bet he didn't. Remember a half an hour ago, I was talking about Elite Extra Edition that I bought into. I bought into 3 breaks. Guess how many I watched? 0. I didn't watch a single break. This could have happened to me where, remember, they're also 10-box breaks, half case. I could have posted my 1 of 1 on Twitter and been like, "Oh my God, I didn't even watch this break. Look what I pulled in the break." I would have no idea. And I understand from like a breaker standpoint, they could have like, "Oh, this was supposed to be," they could have given case 1 to case 2 and vice versa. Mistakes happen. I know it. I had one. I made a mistake 7 years ago. I know they happen. No, we make mistakes every single day. Some are just bigger than others. I've misplaced cards that I've sold on eBay. I've miscounted. And I've got the negative feedback to prove it. Mistakes happen. You just got to own up to it. And so, how did this story end? Where are we at? So now we have Patrick had Penn State in a Bowman U break with whatnot. Gold Grayson, I think, was his name. And so did Sam Sells. So they both had Penn State, but who has the rights to the Joey Porter Jr.? And I think it was actually Sam Sells. So let's see. So let's go to Gold Grayson. So now we go to Gold Grayson. He was the breaker on whatnot that this all went down. I didn't like his original tweet. Once this was all like discovered, Gold Grayson tweeted out, a customer of mine reached out to me with a card that was missing from his package. I immediately apologized for our mistake and right away offered a solution to make this right with giving him boxes to choose from to correct the mistake. Mistakes will happen in the sorting. So they're admitting the mistake, but it doesn't appear that they tried to get the customer the right card. Like, what the breaker should have done in that case is like the box should have been just like, "Here's for your trouble," not a replacement. The breaker should have made it right by, "Hey, Patrick, we gave you the wrong cards. Here's postage. We're paying for you to mail these back. And hey, we'll give you something, $10 break credit, $20 break for the hassle." Okay. And then the breaker goes to the other guy, "Hey, you got those cards in error. They're actually Patrick's. Please send them back. Here's the postage. We're going to give you a box for all your troubles." And then they coordinate this deal. Boom. You don't have your customers doing this, because then it could fall back on you. What if they don't do it? Because you're responsible as the seller and the breaker. That's just my opinion. That's what I would do and how I would handle. So I think it all was settled by this morning. Gold Grayson tweeted 3 hours ago, "We have found the person who got missent the card, and it is in the process of going to its rightful owner." A happy ending. There was just pitchforks all over the place. So let's go back to let's just see some of the mean tweets Let's see. And the Patrick guy was funny. He said, just communicated with the other half and agreed to a duel at noon. He wanted a morning duel, but I just don't function that well so early. See, that's funny. So they were being like good about it, but some of the comments, man. Let's see. Like the pitchforks were out. Like, my God, just mind your own business. Let's see. And people are like, name the breaker so we can avoid them. And it's like, no. It was an honest mistake. This guy says basically what it was. Could it be as simple as a sorting error? Guy who got the card had UVA and they had dark jerseys like Porter did. I think what ended up happening was they both had Penn State, but they were in different breaks. You got hosed. Things happen, but that seems shady. Always break with those you trust. And I would say I would definitely always break with those you trust. Sam says 40K subs thought I was safe. So all that. So put down the pitchforks. All is right. Everything happened for the good without fiery pitchforks. Where are we at in the chat? So I got to wrap up so I can get shipping so I can get my getaway day on. Where are we at? Flipping Sports Guy. There we are. Let's see. The Whatnot Breakers do need to slow down. They're running so many breaks that they can't keep their stuff organized. You're hearing more and more about orders getting mixed up. I've heard a lot. I didn't want to share my edit. I didn't want to go editorial on Whatnot, but yes, I've watched one break, and it was just not for me. Henry says Bowman U is that F? Yeah, it is. Hell yeah. Look at this. Look at this. They have logos. Get old Jackson Smith sleeved up. We've got logos. This is Bowman U, baby. Love it. Even better than last year. And I loved last year's Bowman U product. Herman says, I had an Airbnb booked for the National this year, and it got canceled because the owner decided they couldn't rent it anymore. At least you had like a year's notice. That's the good thing. You had a year notice. Yeah, it's kind of a pain, but you had a lot of time. Like, I'm worried, like my Turo, it's like, I hope they don't cancel. Like, what if I land in Phoenix and they cancel? It's freaking 9 p.m. and I got to find a new rental car. That would not be ideal. Let's see. Herman says, worked out for me in the end as I can no longer afford to go. That sucks. Wanted to see you there. True Blue Collectibles, good morning to you. Flawed Thinker says, Whatnot now has a playback option for each live, which is pretty much an insurance policy for buyers. That's good. It has helped me as a seller. That's good. Flipping Sports Guy says, LOL. Bo made a mistake 7 years ago. See, you caught that. You caught my little drop of humor. Augusta says, yeah, and if he offered them a whole box, obviously they did their best to more than make it right. I bought cards last night that weren't available. The card in the box should go to the correct person, and the person that got the wrong card should be compensated too. They sent out so many that they probably had no clue who got his cards, though. Rich says, Bo, the problem is, and this is sadly an issue, if you sent me cards by accident, I can presume they are gifts and keep those cards. I mean, yeah, you can't force it, but it wasn't a gift. Like, it was a transaction. Like, this is what you paid for. So I'm going to have to disagree because there's video evidence like this. I'm not going to name buyer A, you paid $20 for this break. Buyer B, you paid $20 for this break. This is what you paid for. This is what you should have got. But a mistake was made. The buyer that got the card on accident could say, F you made the mistake. I'm keeping the card. What are you going to do? Call the cops? They're not going to do anything. Get your pitchforks out and put it on Twitter? Yeah, that's about the only thing you can do. So in this situation, it worked out for the best because like you can't force them. I guess you could try to go to their house and knock on their door, but still, now you're going to potentially be breaking the law trying to force them to give up that property. So it's not black and white. Fortunately, this situation it was. And also, like, are you going to ruin your reputation over it's a nice card, but do you want to ruin? Does either the buyer who or the person who got it accidentally, do they want to ruin their reputation? Does the breaker want to ruin their reputation? Wouldn't it be the entire PSU grouping sent back and forth? He never mentioned the auto. I'm not sure. You can't make a mistake nowadays because you will show up on the weekly SCR recap. MD Sports Cards, the main reason why when I do a break, I only break with bigger entities. I get careless at times where I'll just get excited about buying into an Elite Extra Edition break. And I'll buy, usually before I buy in, I'll look at the if they have 40,000 positive feedback on eBay, I'm like, okay, this is legit. And ignore negative feedback for breakers on eBay. Well, actually, I shouldn't say ignore, but a lot of negative feedback for breakers on eBay is somebody getting crappy cards in a break. And they're like, I got crappy cards. I paid $100 and I only got 7 base cards. Well, there were only 7 base cards in your break for that team that you won. So sorry. That's what sucks about I would hate to be a breaker on eBay because you have to deal with that. Let's see. Henry says, I got the wrong item included on eBay with correct item. I wrote back and nothing happened. No response. True Blue says the pitchforks always come out online. Can we have the 80s and early 90s back? No, I don't want to go. It was a fun time, but no, I don't want to go back. I had somebody send me the wrong lot on eBay before. He refunded us both 100%, and we just used the refunded money to send each other our respective lots. Very cool. Let's see. I'm all for pitchforks if the party that messed up isn't willing to do anything, much like a few in the past. I would agree with that. In this case, pitchforks were not warranted, but there have been cases, yes, where maybe, and you know what? Maybe the pitchforks helped get a solution. Here I go talking myself off the ledge. Maybe because everybody had their pitchforks out, that's what made this a quick solution. Let's see. The bravery, it was an honest mistake. Augustus says, I'd love to have the 90s back. Love the girls in denim and poofy hair. There's nothing available anywhere near the National anymore, so screw being a long time out making it any better. I love staying far out from the National. We stay, me and a buddy of mine get a cheap hotel like 20 minutes out. It's $60 a night, so $30 we split it. And it's a nice little drive. There's a McDonald's and a Starbucks or Dunkin'. I don't like Starbucks. There's a Dunkin'. There might be a Starbucks there too. There's a McDonald's and a Dunkin' right next to it. Grab my breakfast and my coffee. Nice little cruise with the windows down and the radio up, down River Road to the National. I prefer it. I much rather prefer that than spending $200 a night next to the National and just walking into the show the whole 5 days or whatever. Kyle says, I bought 3 to 4 Dale Jr. break spots. Then on the 5th break, when I didn't buy a gold auto Dale Jr. was pulled. I don't have great luck with breaks. Them's the breaks. So that's what I had for today. I've got to ship and fly to Arizona. So no show tomorrow. I will go live Thursday morning. Thursday morning, we'll go live from my hotel room. Cooter wants me to take a photo of the background. I don't know how to do that. I mean, I know how to take a photo of this, but I don't know how to incorporate it into this. So, sorry, Cooter. You're going to get a hotel background for a few days. So yeah, plan on Thursday morning, probably in the 7 to 8 range Central Time. Which would be 6 to 7 my time in Arizona. So I can recap my day 1, which will be tomorrow. Hopefully the toilet flushes in the airplane so we're not delayed 2 hours like last year. That would be ideal. So hit the like button if you haven't already. Subscribe to the channel. Back at it Thursday morning. So I think I'm going to go get some coffee. I'll see you Thursday.